What up, though? It's your boy Nomus J coming at y'all with another one, man. Of D313SP. Um, Listen, man. I am tired right now, as you can possibly see, but I haven't really got a chance to go over the draft as far as day two and day three. Obviously, I was there day one. Thank you for all who did show up. Support us on day one, man. Appreciate that, man. Obviously, I haven't had to get a chance to get my breakdown about it. I haven't got a chance to really watch a major film on each player, so take that with a little bit of grain of salt. But obviously, you know, it's a lot of mixed emotions about the draft. I actually have mine. I have my things that I'm critical about of it, of course, but also have some things that I'm not critical about. And it's just that a lot of fan base is sort of torn. Most of the fan base is with Brad Holmes and everything he does because they think everything he does is just right. Then you got the fan base is like, no, I'm not feeling this, and I can speak for both sides. I'm not going to personally tell you how I feel because I understand when some of us as content creators tell what we feel about the draft, your viewpoint, it's not always accepted. Apparently, with this fan base, so I'm not going to, you know, do anything to ruin anybody's fun. That's not my intention. I'm honestly always been the man that's been down the middle type of person that I've always been. So I try to be as fair as possibly I can when it comes to our situation when the Lions or the Pistons, any team of that nature. So that being said, I'm going to try to, because like I said, I'm tired. I got to get to sleep. Without doubt, I got work coming up. So what I'm going to do is just tell you guys the good first that I like about it, the draft as an entirety, and I'm going to tell you some things I didn't quite like about it. And I'm going to give this draft a grade. I have a grade. It's up to you if you want to put in the comment section and try to see what I gave it a grade for. If you just want to have a little fun, but I didn't grade it as far as out loud because it's just I don't want people to think I'm giving it too high or too low. So I'm just gonna keep that to myself. But the things that I like about the draft that Brad Holmes did do. Look, I understand it kind of sucks when you get a guy like Jalen Carter fall right in your hands and you don't take him, and then a team that just won the Super Bowl, who had a luxury pick at that point because of a trade that happened the year before, decides to go ahead and just move up one spot above your divisional rival and take him when you had him fall. I understand from fellow people that how bad that feels right now for those who really wanted him. And I get it, the optimism side of people are just like, who cares? I like Jameer Gibbs. I did like him, and I would have took him at 18 preferably. I don't have a problem with any of the players Brad Holmes chose to select. It's not about the players; it's about how the way they were sort of incorporated into getting those guys. For me, it's just that I like this draft because you had a lot of expiring contracts on your offense this year. If you notice in the regular season, let me just tell you like this: in the NFL, in the regular season of the NFL, and I'll repeat, in the regular season of the NFL, you need to score points. You need talent on offense to beat teams down, and you at least need an adequate enough defense. That's what you need to win in the regular season of the NFL. Postseason, another story. We'll explain that probably in a little bit. But in the regular season, at least, you need the offense that can tear you down. And the Lions had Swift on to the last year of his deal, can't seem to stay healthy. Love him. Wouldn't have got rid of him myself, but I understand what they were trying to do. But personally, I wouldn't have got rid of him. But he was going to the last year of his deal. You already traded away hot during the season. And then obviously CJ Chart left for a different deal with the Carolina Panthers, so he didn't come back. Jamal Williams was a free agent who announced that he was coming back before anybody ever did. And you know what happened there. So here comes David Montgomery, new face. Then obviously, tight ends, like I said, a lot of your key players that you usually had here are gone. So all that remained were guys that were like on tender deals as far as tight ends, and James Mitchell rookie, who barely got a chance to play with golf like that, except for a few plays. Then you have a completely new running back room as far as your top two guys. You have some new receivers that are coming. Jamison Williams and Goff have not had a chance to truly get their chemistry together. So, and now he's suspended. So at this point, they chose to take a tight end, which I think is mid, but that's just me personally. Y'all know me; I got a personal thing with this team, just taking tight ends every time we look up. But Sam Laporta, so second round pick, practically a first round pick if you ask me how early it was. So yeah, you took Sam Laporta, you got Gibbs, you still got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, we don't know what Jameson Williams is going to be yet. And then you got Khalif Raymond and Josh Reynolds. And now just added Marvin Jones. So you got some new faces that weren't here this past season that are here right now with under Jared Goff term. And if you go back and you compare it um, with, back then when you compare the situation with the 2011 offense with Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and Javi Best and the boys, the one thing that Lions team didn't do was draft good enough. They took gambles. Sometimes they lost out. They didn't know how to properly build anybody to put around Calvin and Stafford and the boys. And they took too many gambles that actually failed on them. And it was just a downhill. They tried to get Reggie Bush like a year or two later. That's sort of he was like our thousand rusher that will only be our thousand rusher for like the next 5 years. And that was it until Kerryon gave us a 100-yard game, and then now Jamal Williams this past season broke that record. But that's what we were dealing with during that era. So the Lions really sort of it seemed like they just let go of all the money they could have potentially paid to keep a lot of those guys on offense last year, like keeping Hawk and maybe giving them an extension, and then like Swift staying for the final deal with his rookie deal, and then DJ Chark, whatever, giving him the long term extension, to decide not to do that. A lot of people we let go. It seemed like what we did in return was turn that money into the defensive side of the ball, as far as free agents, getting guys like Sutton, et cetera. And then on the draft, it seemed like they elected to say, well, since we brought some experience on the defense, let's go get some youth to kind of combo with the guys we already have with the offense. So they got some new players put in place. It's like they refreshed, and potentially we'll see if they're upgrades. But that's what they did. They refreshed the offense, sort of, so to kind of get some new rhythm. So Ben Johnson had his work cut out for him this year to get those new players up to date, which is why you probably saw a guy like Marvin Jones being signed this year, which is why you saw them re-pick up the tender deals for both the tight ends. And, you need some guys that have been here already for a year or two. So that's just what it comes down to, man, at the end of the day, which is why they probably didn't draft a guard high, because they're like, well, we'll sign one. So they need the veteran presence around the locker room as much as possible. Now with Jared Goff being here, we don't know how long term he's going to be here. Maybe he'll get an extension one day. Maybe we'll just move on with whatever quarterback we have, which we have. Hooray! I love that pick, but maybe that's just what it is. Jared Goff is literally doing the same thing he did when he first got here, being asked to redevelop this roster. Got so many new faces on there now. You got to redevelop this offense. So, and that means, and I know people are like, what I mean by that, that means you got to get these new players now with the chemistry with them. So he's got his work cut out. You got to get playing time with Laporta. He got to see what still James Mitchell about anything. He got to get his connection built more with J-Mo. He got to still keep his connection with Amon-Ra, who's trying to add to his game in deep routes. And then you got to learn who Marvin Jones is now, because he used to play here, but it was a different quarterback. So it's so many different faces. Not to mention seeing how your rookie running back likes to catch passes, and then David Montgomery getting used to that. So it's a lot of work to do in this offseason. So things are being revamped. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions offense next year kind of start off a little bit slow, and then kind of pick this pace up later down once everybody kind of learn how to play together because of what we had. Now, again, some of these guys may be so good it may not matter, but we will have to see. But that's just what it was. And the Lions figured, if we're going to spend money on the defensive side of the ball this offseason, then we need to draft some offense to kind of balance it out. Because you can't just go defense all 4 or 5 picks. Not get it. You want Jalen Carter, you want Nolan Smith, you want players like that. Heck yeah, I do. And it's like, I understand that. And at the end of the day, you can't just get lazy with the offense because of what you did last year, especially when you lost some key pieces that were a part of it. Yes, the offense is played off predicated off the strength of the offensive line, the blocking scheme, how they motion everything out. But still, you need the playmakers there. You know what I'm saying? You see now with JMO suspended, that threw a monkey wrench in there. So I felt like they were. I feel like this draft, I can give a pass sort of to Brad Holmes because I feel like he was trying to gamble and shoot dice at what he thought could work, and I feel like I understand what he was trying to do. Again, it's kind of hard passing on his defensive talents, but you understand this. What we did in free agency, I don't know who our starting outside corners are going to officially be. It's definitely going to be a fight for those positions, but at the very least, you could say since you added some more experience in the secondary and stuff like that, and some more, and brought back some of those glue guys on defense back, and you even added a fresh face on defense in the draft with the pitch you got. You can literally fix. And when I say fix defense, I don't mean make it elite in one draft class, but like you can get 3 players in the draft that can help your defense out dramatically. Like depending on what position that you putting those players in, you don't have to necessarily go 7 picks every year just to try to fix defense. You're not going to fix it that way. It's about finding the right player. You know what I'm saying? Did we find that in Jack Campbell? That remains to be seen. Did we find that in Branch? That remains to be seen. Did we find that, you know what I'm saying, and anybody else that we took this year? And Broderick, we'll see. But, you know what I'm saying, that's just what it comes down to. So you have to have balance. And I guess since we went defense sort of heavy last year, they didn't want to do that again this year, so they went more offensive heavy. You could say it was sort of back and forth, 8 picks. What was it, like 3 defensive players, if I'm correct? It was Jack Campbell, Branch, Broden, and then you took another defensive player. I think that or was that it? That might have been it. I think those the main players you took on defense. I know it was somebody else I'm missing. I think if I'm not correct, going crazy here, but yeah. Like I said, man, it's a process, and at the end of the day, you know, the Lions did what they felt they had to do. Brad Holmes did what he felt he had to do. Am I ready to call him the greatest GM of all time? No. I don't think he's proven that just yet. I know a lot of fans are hype about him, but no, but I think they had a solid draft, man. I think they had a solid, decent draft. You get a lot of guys who could probably contribute very early this season, hopefully out this class. I think you should be able to. So, way it's looking, because you know, obviously you got your running back. He's going to be starting along with Montgomery. Then you got your linebacker. He should be in fitting the role. We haven't seen the new scheme if they're going to tweak the scheme more defensively. They talked about that when they had C.J. Gardner-Johnson about the flexibility. Now they can do more things, adding these guys on the secondary, and now you bring in Jack. You might be able to fit him in the role. So, and Reeves Maben returning, you know, he's probably going to earn his roster spot on the team. So we'll see what happens with him. So it's some things that can happen. You're not going to build an elite defense overnight. You're not going to build an elite offense for that matter overnight. So it just takes time, man. And us having all those guys on their last year deals, they'll not want to keep bringing the effort the same old flavor. They probably rather have those defensive players. We'd rather have a guy like Chauncey Gardner Jr. We'd rather have Cam Sutton. We'd rather have Emmanuel Mosley. We'd rather have whoever else they bringing back Buzz. They'd rather have bring back Kaminsky for all those fans. So it's just that's what the scenario was. And now at least we can say we got a quarterback draft in the top 3 rounds to at least sit and groom behind Goff. And we'll see what happens during that time. Maybe he'll just be a backup. Maybe he'll be a starter. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I give him a thumbs up for the draft. I still need to see more out the film when I actually get my breakdown. But just my initial feelings towards on the good end, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, don't kill the man because you didn't get the players you wanted. I understand that. And believe me, I'm about to get into the negative side of it. I know, despite all the positive things I said, I know a lot of people are going to kill me for every criticism I have of the draft because that's just what Lions fans do. Love y'all to death, but, I mean, y'all do what y'all do, man. So here's a criticism I have of it. I knew they were going to fall for it. You don't let a championship team that's picking top 10 trade up to go get a guy that was in your hands, a guy who could be an impact player. Now, and I will say this, add to the positive stuff. For Jalen Carter, personally, as much as I believe that if we really put our effort into him, we could have kept him right and helped guide him to the right direction. I think Philly was ultimately the best place for him. Here's why. Because they have so many Georgia players over there, it don't make no sense. Now you add Swift over there, so it's like home away from home. And then you got Fletcher Cox over there, Brandon Graham. So these are guys that can definitely get with him, and he can learn from and help him get his life right. Like Brandon Graham's from here. He went to school here, man. He's local. Fletcher Cox has been there, done it all. Those two guys have been there, done it all, man. And even with Jordan Davis being his college teammate and stuff like that, those guys could, help get with him, man, help bring him into the right path and help keep his mind clear. So it probably was just the perfect place for him, man. Philly being over there. Not saying he will, not jump out of line. The other thing I want to say too is middle fingers to all those guys who slammed this young man for getting drafted. Look, he's not a messiah of defensive tackles, okay? We get it. But at the end of the day, he's not a murderer. And I don't appreciate the Lions fan base treating him like that. I don't appreciate anybody of the media period in this world treating a young man, a college kid, regardless of his race and color is, especially a young black man, but still, regardless of his race and color, I don't appreciate nobody getting treated like a murderer when they didn't murder because somebody died when him making a mistake. Man, the kid's not a murderer, okay? He made a bad decision, okay? And as a young college kid would, get over it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. I wish him the best. And Darius Slay felt the same way. If you've seen the Twitter or the guy that was in the press conference saying that he didn't feel that, Jalen Carter was, paid for his crime, or whatever you want to call it. Like he didn't get punishment enough. I thought that was crazy. But anyway, man, what I was saying, the criticism of it is that the Lions need to learn how to draft impact players on the trenches, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand this. Like you trade out, and I get you were trying to gamble, but y'all they like shying away from going all the way with something. I don't understand it. I know it sounds like I'm contradicting what I just said about 5 minutes ago, but it's like you don't pass, even if you pass on Jalen Carter and you trade down to 12, you took Kansas. Why not take guys who can come in, help this defensive front, help put some pressure up, and get a cornerback that could also help in coverage? Like, why not take the immediate talent when you get it? It's just don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the Texans, they didn't waste no time. They hurried up, they got their quarterback, and they traded up to go get Will Anderson. They didn't waste no time. Not saying Will Anderson's gonna be a Hall of Famer or nothing, but I'm just saying they didn't waste no time getting the guy that they felt needed to help their defense. And that's what the Lions have a problem with doing. We'll get all the cute little players, but we won't go and get those guys. Those great. We don't take those chances. It's like we keep trying to play it safe all the time, and then when the defense is not playing good, you're ready to fire Aaron Glenn, and that's just it's getting sickening, man. Like, why do you keep doing this, Brad? Like, you get Aiden Hutchinson, you don't follow up with a Jordan Davis or Devin Lloyd. You go out here and you trade for a hurt receiver. Like, this is the stuff we be talking about. Like, and I don't believe his explanation, and I'm sick of Lions fans doing this too. Every time we draft a player by any of our GMs, why do y'all have to say he's the best player at that position? He is not the best player at that position. You know what I mean? Teams got a highlight reel or some kind of a post about some kind of guy saying that this guy did this really well. Quit doing that. You're starting to sound stupid. The man is not the best linebacker in the draft. I can't say that yet. And he damn sure ain't Luke Kuechly. I don't care about his measurables. I don't care about how similar certain things he do. It's certain things he does that I don't think Luke Kuechly. It's certain things he don't do. I feel like Luke Kuechly did better. That's just my opinion. I can't put that tag on. But at the very least, he's a solid player. But let's not acting like this guy's best. Every player we get, he's the best player on that position. No, he wasn't. Like, God, dog it. That's the thing I have about it. That's what makes me get upset. When Lions fans, I understand you're excited. You have a right to be excited. It's draft night. We all are. But don't sit here and ruin it for everybody, either being too negative or being way over unnecessarily excited with all this optimism, just making up stuff, believing everything somebody said without even looking at it. Like, you can't say he's the best linebacker. We don't even know officially who is the best linebacker. We're not even sure Jalen Carter is the best D tackle in this draft. To be honest with you, who knows? Maybe Devin Witherspoon might not even be the best corner in this draft, but we all assuming because of where they got drafted and where they got picked. Can we wait till they see they play first before we just sit out here and just started giving all this praise. Like, let this man earn his keep and earn the best GM award first. He just barely getting started. Let's see if this team can actually win something. And when it's time to pay people, let's then start judging Brad Holmes or any GM in Detroit, period. Before we just give them a pass and say they're the greatest thing in since sliced bread. I'm sorry, I'm tired, y'all, but damn. It's just like, I could go more, man. It's like some of y'all fans don't listen. You know what I'm saying? I get it, man. It's like Brad Holmes, you wanted to trade down, try to acquire more assets. I get what your plan was, but man, certain things you just don't gamble like that on, man. Like, you see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? You come on, man. You see how teams are winning. Like, name me one team in the Super Bowl that didn't have at least a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense, or at least adequate on one of those sides of the ball and was top 5 on the other. Name me. 49ers had quarterback problems, but they had top 10, top 5, top 10 defense, top 5, top 10 offense. Philly, same thing. Kansas City, same thing. You go right now on those teams, what do they have? A complete defensive line. They can get pressure, get after the quarterback, stop the run from time to time. They also got an offensive line. They can run the ball when needed to, situationally. You know what I'm saying? They got receivers. They don't got. And the thing is, you can make an argument that Chiefs wide receivers are not even all that great separately. But as a schematically, they get the best out of them with the best player being that tight end under Pat Mahomes and that coaching staff knowing how to get the best out of them. Eagles, yeah, they got probably a better receiver core overall, but still, young quarterback, a good offensive line, good D line. Outside Nakobe Dean, TJ Edwards is gone now. I barely know who their linebackers are. You know what I'm saying? I know who their defensive front is, but I don't even know who their linebackers are barely. But guess what? I bet they'll have a much better defense than most teams in the league. You see what I'm saying? They retain this secondary players, man. Like, come on now. You got to start thinking the same way. I understand you want to get cute and get all these culture guys, but sometimes you gotta go and get the thumpers, man. Like, that's what we're missing. You ain't getting enough pressure up the middle. You ain't getting enough pressure, period. And you need guys in the secondary that can help in coverage. Like the players you got, but I'm just saying you could have probably had a little more because you need a little more. You know what I'm saying? I like the players we got in general in all season, but I felt like we could have did a better job completing it. This is me. But like I said, I ain't go beat down the draft too damn much, but it's just about time for us to start following the trend the right way. I'm not a trend guy, but it's about time we do it the right way if you go do it. Notice what the winning teams are doing. Copy the formula of Mitch Jones style into it. So you can't keep trying to build all the sexy positions and going for all that, but you ain't getting the real dumpers, man. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's just my mixed emotions about the draft. That's how I feel on my criticized side, and how I felt about the side when I'm more optimistic. It's also how I feel. That's why I just didn't, lean on one side. Both sides, to me, I can understand both people who feel both ways. That's my way of saying it. And that's why I said, let's calm down, quit with the overreaction, quit with the underreaction. Let's wait and let's see some film on these guys more in college. Let's go out there and review these content creators that do film sessions. Let's go out there and watch these games, man. Close and careful. Let's pay attention to the preseason. If you're at training camp, make sure you pay attention to what you see. No, this is what you got to start doing. So we can start ending debating about if Brad Holmes or any GM in Detroit, period, for any of our teams are making the right decision. I think that's the way we got to go moving forward, because we have been one of those losing franchises. So that means as a fan base, we're lacking information. We're only going off of what we've been told all day, and you can't do that. You have to research. So it is what it is. I'm not mad about the draft. I'm not overexcited about the draft either. I'm cool with it. It's got a good draft, man. Good job, Brad Holmes. You did a good job incorporating your moves. Ben Campbell doing your thing as well. Y'all, the whole slamming the table thing is getting kind of old. That's sad, but man, shout out to the Lions, man. Y'all had a good, impactful draft. I'll tell you what. This is where I give Brad Holmes some respect at. If y'all make it this far to the video or whatever, this is where I give some Brad Holmes some respect. As much as I do not like us trading with our division rivals, trading players to them and trading draft picks around with them, I gotta say, man, and I want y'all to look at me very close when I say that's some ballsy shit. It take a lot of balls to do something. You either really stupid or you're the biggest fucking ballsiest genius I ever seen in my life. But that's what I'll say about that, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Make sure y'all follow also on all social medias on D313SP. Shout out to my guys Breed and DC1 Daryl, man, for just holding it down, man, for us on Friday, man. It was contemplating how he was gonna do it, man. If he was gonna do a live or do a record or whatever the case may be, or just a video, but he ended up doing a live. So shout out to them. We Three Kings, I'm gonna pray for y'all, but shout out to y'all too. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to the Lions. Shout out to man Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, man, and staff, bro, for putting together a solid draft. Shout out to all my content creators that was active, man, doing their thing, creating content. Everybody who was at the casinos, anybody, man, who and all you guys, man, appreciate y'all, appreciate the love. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Most of them is D313SP minus the Twitter, but yeah, definitely follow us on the Facebook page, man. We got things coming, like I say all the time. But also, thank you, and like, comment, subscribe, how you feel. Be respectful in the comment section. That's all that's for. Please don't come in with all that extra stuff because I will block you. And that's just all I'm gonna say, man. Leave it at that. But much love to y'all, man. It's your boy Nomus J of D313SP. I'm signing out, man. Peace.